Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Shit's Hard. I'm your host, Amber, and today we are talking about being more selfish. Yes, the fucking title means exactly what it says. No, not like that, stupid. This is going to be an interesting episode. I do have the AC going in my room, so if you hear that, mind your business. Because I've been trying to film around like noon, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., because that's when like the lighting is the best. And I swear to God, like I watched a video that I recorded at like 1 p.m. and I was like, I look immaculate. And I really want you guys to like me and think that I'm really pretty and watch my videos. Obviously kidding. Yes, I want to look presentable on the internet, as well as I'm like probably higher video quality. And also if I look more attractive, I probably will get more views. But then it's like, you know, is that from viewers that I really want? Maybe not. Whatever. I digress. I like the video better when I film it this time. But it's so fucking hot. So then I was like, okay, now I need the AC going. And then I'm like, now the AC is probably going to get picked up on the audio. Whatever. I'm going to edit it out later. So we'll see. But we are talking about being more selfish. Long story short, I broke up with a guy I was seeing. That's not necessarily like super relevant. We weren't together super long. But it does kind of have me on this, like, journey of, like, I do really want to take a break from men. I really want to decenter men. And I really need to focus on myself. And I feel grateful because this was a very healthy relationship. And even, like, the breakup was healthy. We're on good terms. So I don't feel like this toxic, like, oh, I'm just going to go fuck around. Like, I don't know. I feel very, like, that chapter's closed. It wasn't working. I need to stay in my lane. And I was watching TikToks the other day, which maybe I've been doing a little bit too much of lately, but I did see this video that was talking about mind movie technique, and it's, I guess, Joseph something, I can't remember. There's like a book. I was watching a girl talk about it on TikTok, I can't remember her name, but she was referencing a book by this guy named Joseph, also don't know the name of the book. Should have wrote these things down. But nonetheless, the idea was, like, you know, don't make a vision board for the new year, make a mind movie. And obviously we're well into the new year, but it was basically about manifesting and making a little movie that's what you want your life to be, and manifesting that and watching the movie or little video or whatever morning and night before, like, right when you wake up and right when you go to bed. And I was like, this sounds really fun. And so I kind of watched her video, and she talks about, like, her tutorial is mostly like, I think she said the first, like, at least 30 seconds, if not longer, like, do a kaleidoscope. Find, like, a moving kaleidoscope video, and then attach, like, some sound to it with the 432 hertz. She uses, like, miracle manifesting sound, but, like, anything that's, like, 432 hertz, that's, like, whatever. And she's like, watch that, like, breathe deeply, like, really, you know, manifest this shit. And then after that in the video, like, put in what you want. So if it's money, if it's $1 million, if it's, like, you know, a car. And she was like, be as specific as you possibly can. So she was like, if there's a specific car, get the make and model, the exact one, put that in the video, whatever. And so, I don't know, I really like this idea for many reasons. Whether it works or not, like, who really fucking cares? I do think for anybody, it's going to get you, like, just the process of making it, just the process of creating the video would probably be beneficial in, you know, mapping out and kind of visualizing, like, what your future is going to look like and what you want it to look like. And manifesting has been around for a long time. We call it different things in different cultures and societies. We call it, you know, visualizing. All this stuff is proven to work. It's backed by science. Because your brain is so powerful. It's such a powerful tool. And if you really tell yourself every day that you're going to fail at something or you're never going to accomplish something, I can guarantee you never will. But if you tell yourself every day and you show yourself every day that these things are possible for you, that the future that you want for yourself is possible for you, that the goals that you want to achieve are well within your realm of things you can accomplish, you're significantly more likely to achieve them. But the brain is like a muscle, and we have to train it to do what we want it to do. And so I don't know, I really like this video, and with ending this relationship, obviously I'm very sad, and I'm having my, like, moments of being sad, and I'm letting myself be sad. But I think, like, that's kind of what I'd like to shift my energy to, because relationships are energy, right, and, like, effort. And I think sometimes when you get out of a relationship, you're like, what now? Like, what do I do now? What do I do with all this time? Who do I text if I have something to say? And I think, like, I'm really trying to focus that inward. And there's some things that I want to do this year that I wanted to do with him. I wanted to go to Tahoe with him. I wanted to go to New York with him. And so I really was sitting on this, and I was like, I've never taken a solo trip. I think that it's time to go alone. And so I think I'm going to go on a solo trip sometime this year to New York. And I really like New York, and I've shared before, I want to move there in the next, like, I don't know, 3 years or so. But I think I am having trouble seeing, like, how do I get there, right? Because I already did the LA thing, and to be honest with you, like, anybody can do it, but you're going to struggle. And I'm like, how do I do it without struggling? So I'm, like, more like, okay, I need to focus on career. I need to focus on the financial aspect of my life. Not that I'm doing bad, but I'm not where I want to be, and I think that has to be the next focus, is how do I get myself in a comfortable financial position to where I can move to New York, and I can get a place there, and I can be comfortable. And I don't know what that looks like. To be, like, super transparent on this podcast, like, I haven't really been doing well mentally lately. I started Vyvanse for ADHD this past week. Hasn't been really going well, so I stopped. And I'm going to talk with my psychiatrist and all that kind of stuff. Or psychologist, Jesus Christ. Psychologist or psychiatrist? Well, whatever. Anyways. I'm going to talk with them later this week and figure out a solution. Basically, I've been getting all the symptoms, like insomnia, not being able to sleep at all, no appetite, have barely eaten. I'm getting, like, muscle tension, like, in my shoulders. Apparently, like, clenching is, like, a common side effect of Vyvanse. I'm on a super low dose, too. So I'm just kind of surprised. But Vyvanse is the extended release, so it goes, you know, as long as your metabolism will take it, it goes slower, which is probably why insomnia is more of a common side effect, because by the time you go to bed, it's not worn off yet. I did notice a lot of the, like, positives, the benefits of taking it with ADHD, and I definitely felt like my thoughts were more streamlined, and I was more productive, and I was able to kind of focus and task jump from one thing to the next, like, way easier. But, you know, at what cost? So that's been kind of rough, and then that at the same time, the breakup kind of sucks, and it sucks because this was a really good person and really, like, my best friend, like, more than my boyfriend. And I really trusted him and felt safe with him and, like, shared a lot with him. And he was, like, my biggest supporter when it came to, like, career, podcast stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff. And so it definitely feels hard, like, not having him for that, because it's like something goes wrong and I just, like, want to hug him and I just, like, want to call him, and I know that he would be there if I called, but it's, like, not healthy, you know. I really don't want to start that whole situationship bullshit. And I do think I'm 24. I'm at a stage in my life where it's time to really foster the relationship with myself and trust myself that I can take care of myself. I can be there for myself when I'm having mental stuff. I can be that support system for myself. I just have to really work on it. And so much easier said than done. I think I'm doing okay. Like, I'm good, I guess. I don't know. I kind of feel like with the Vyvanse, I'm not really sure if this is a side effect, but I kind of feel like numb. Like, not really motivated to, not emotional. Like, I'm not feeling my emotions the way that I feel like I should be. Or, which I've always had this issue outside of taking this medication, where I've struggled with, like, crying. Like, I feel like I feel emotions and I, like, want to release them, but I have trouble releasing them. And that's probably childhood trauma of, like, not really having a safe space to express my emotions. So I, like, really learned to, like, suppress. And now it's, like, they don't come out when I, like, want them to, which is honestly another reason why I really have gotten into yoga. I know that I, like, say this so much on this podcast, but, like, yoga has become my religion. Like, that's my church. Like, I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time, I'm like, I need to go to yoga. I need to stretch, I need to breathe, I need to be with myself, I need to, like, yoga has really been that, like, fostering the relationship with myself. Like, it's an act of self-care for me to go. Even when I was feeling that muscle tension from the Vyvanse, I was like, I need to go to yoga. I need to stretch. I need to breathe. There was one class that I took where the instructor had said that one of her previous instructors told her that when you're confused about like which like a decision you need to make, you need to pick something or the other. She was like come into a bind. Apparently that any kind of bind or in a yoga posture can be very good for like just mental mind connection of like figuring out what you actually want. So I'm getting really into all that kind of stuff. I'm enjoying it so much. And so I feel like right now where I'm at, right? So like the Vyvanse has me feeling a little crazy. The breakup's making me sad and feel like I lost a part of my support system. And then I'm also just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like these last couple podcast episodes, the viewership is down. I feel like I'm not, which is probably my fault. I'm not really promoting it as much as I usually do. I haven't been posting on TikTok. I haven't been active as I'd like to be. And then it's just like, I don't want it to become this self-depreciating loop of like, I'm a fuck up and I'm bad at things. Cause I know that that's not helpful. And I also know that we ebb and flow. But it's just like, I don't know, when you work so much on something and you barely see any progress, it like kind of sucks. And I've said this before, and I really tried to like focus on like my content, what I'm putting out there and showing up authentically, and like that's something to be proud of. And like viewership will come, and like, but that's not really I feel like I'm like, it's like I say these things, right? And it's like, do you practice what you preach? And I try to, like I really do, but it just like is really fucking hard. And I'm having trouble right now feeling like, where the fuck is this going? Like actually be so fucking for real with yourself. Where is this going? And like I turned 25 in like 2 months, which is like not really getting at me, but kind of getting at me. Comparison really is a thief of joy, and I'm just like, oh, what is everyone else doing at 25, and like, what have I accomplished? And I've been in LA for 3 years, and like, sure, I've done this and that, but like I haven't really done that much. I don't know. I think it's like now I have a clear vision of what I want, and I do have a clear niche. I really want to create a safe space for mental health awareness, for destigmatizing mental health, for decentering men, and just like really fostering a relationship to self and making it like a casual space where we can just chit chat about that, how difficult that is and how that shows up for us. And I feel like I have a clear idea of what I want in terms of like moving to New York and owning property and like whatever, but I feel like I'm having trouble like seeing the path from A to B. And I feel like what I'm doing right now isn't working, so I'm going to need to try something else. And is this even the right path? And is this really what I want? And like, I don't know. I don't know. It just fucking sucks. I know that like this will pass. And I don't know. It's like other times I get on here and I'm like, yay, everything's great. Like, I just don't feel that way right now, and so I can't come in here and act like that. And like I said, I know this will pass, and I'm like glad I'm making this video, but then it's like when I think about like, okay, well, I need to work not harder, but like smarter. I need to be doing more. Just dropping episodes every week isn't enough, and I need to be promoting those episodes, and I need to be posting on TikTok, and it's just like, it feels overwhelming because it feels like I don't know what's the right path to take or how to take it, or if I want to make TikToks to promote the podcast, how do I do it, and what do they look like, and what's the video structure, what's the outline, and like, I don't know. And I feel like I've been making more TikToks, and then I also feel like they've been like going nowhere and doing nothing, which is frustrating. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like a fuck up a little bit, which, I mean, whatever. Yeah, that's it. That's how I feel. Like, so I don't know. I guess with where I'm at right now, I know I'm at a low point, and like I said, I know I'm gonna bounce back. It'll pass. And so I don't know. I saw the TikTok about the movie manifesting, and I was like, well, this could be a fun activity to do. And, so I don't know. I started it. I haven't really gotten very far. I just did the kaleidoscope part. And then the next part is kind of like visualizing what do you want for yourself. And so, whether that, you know, for me, probably like monetizing the podcast and probably like moving to New York and, you know, the things like that, I guess. I think also something that's like on my mind is like, I don't want to have a life centered around men. I just don't. And realistically, when I meet my partner, or if I meet my partner, whatever the fuck, I don't have control over that, and I just want to relinquish that from my being. And I want to be like, what do I have control over? Okay, I have control over my career. I have control over my income. I could fix those things. I have control of where I live. I have control of what I do with my day-to-day life, and all these things can make me happy and bring me success, and I need to be focusing on them. And sure, like, would I like a lifelong partner? Yeah, eventually. Right now, I don't know. Eventually, yes. But it's like, when I really think about it, it's like, well, I can't control when they come into my life. And also then it's like, when I really think about it, it's just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm so fucking picky, and I need somebody who's on my level of, like, awareness, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. And it just feels like it's so hard to find, especially in men. And I'm not saying I'm, like, giving up, but I'm more so like, what does my life look like by myself? And I don't mean to say that as, like, without a man. I more so just mean, like, again, like, I can't control when I meet my partner or how. So there's no really real reason to, like, keep fantasizing about something that, like, I have, like, no say in. And it's probably just going to lead me into more toxic relationships or things that aren't working, and trying to fit a puzzle piece into a puzzle that it doesn't fit into. And I do feel like this past relationship was, like, a little bit like that. I wanted him to be somebody that he wasn't, which isn't fair to him either. And it's not fair to me either. So it's like, I think I would like to just really sit with, like, I don't need a man. I never will need a man. I will never need a partner. I will never need a boyfriend. I will never need a husband. Want and need are two different things. And I feel like a lot of us, and especially in society, we've normalized this, like, fetishizing about, like, our futures and, like, our husband and our life and our kids. And, like, I get that, right? Like, it's exciting. Think about the future is exciting. Oh, where am I going to live? What house am I going to, whatever the fuck, you know, what are my kids going to look like? What are they going to be interested in? Like, it's fun, right? It's like a movie, but your life. And, you know, not knowing what's to come is exciting to think about what the opportunities may present themselves. And I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, but I think as a society, we've really failed women into thinking that they can have happiness without a man. I mean, you can have a family without a man. Like, you can have all these things that you want for yourself. And I think I'm really trying to distinguish the difference between need and want, right? Because I do want a lifelong partner, and I want to get married. But it's like, when I sit with these things and, you know, the deeply rooted misogyny in marriage, and the cultural norm of women just taking on so much emotional labor when they get married and have kids. Like I said, statistically, when you look at it, women's lives, quality of life goes down when they get married. I don't want that to happen. And do I think it's, like, possible to get married and have a husband and your quality of life go up? Yes, of course. It's just very rare, far and few in between, but it is possible. It's just, like, it's rare. And so you really have to, like, be particular and picky with that choice. And I think with society pushing on us, like, oh, you need to get married, you need to have kids, like, this is what you want, we tend to settle for less than a good relationship. Because we think it's, like, what we want, what we're supposed to do, and it's, like, what's normal. And arguably, like, it is pretty normalized to, like, have a shit-ass relationship. I'm not even trying to be a dick. I'm just being honest. It's very normalized in this society to have, like, a dog shit boyfriend. Like, it's sad. But you just go on TikTok, look up relationships, look up dating, and you'll see, like, the most toxic content ever. So I don't know. I have been seeing some girls on TikTok who are kind of posting, like, their very healthy relationship dynamic. And they're like, listen, they're like, not to flex, but honestly, yeah, to flex. Like, my husband, they're like, he says what he does what he says he's going to do. When he says he's going to do it, we make decisions together, but he's also an equal partner. He gets shit done as much as I get shit done. Like, I can trust him to go handle this shit with our kids, with this and that, and he does it. And I know that it's possible for me, but I also know that kind of thing doesn't come when you're looking for it, when you're seeking it out. Because when you're seeking these things out, you're going to try to push somebody into something that they don't fit into. Versus, I think when you let something happen naturally, that's going to lead you to more of what you want, because you're not trying to force it. And I think I don't want to try to force anything, and I really just want to more so focus on me. And that has nothing to do with a man. how much, like, me trying to make more money, me trying to figure out my career goals and my career path and what I want out of life and where I want to live and getting an apartment in New York. Like, those don't really involve a man at all. They don't need to. They don't have to. And I think the reason I'm saying all this is because I think deep down in my soul, I mean, I came to LA with my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend at the time, or my boyfriend at the time, ex-boyfriend now. And I didn't feel like I could do it without him. And I had met this current partner and we were getting along, and I had told him I want to go to New York in a couple years, and he like wanted to leave LA, but he wasn't quite sure where. And I think in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm afraid to go to New York in a year or 2 or 3 by myself. I'm afraid that I can't do it alone. And I think that that's not true, but it's a lie that I'm telling myself that's like deeply embedded in me. You know, we've talked about this, but when you move away from home, you really do foster a relationship with yourself. You really do gain confidence in yourself. You really do start to trust yourself and realize, wow, I can handle so much more than I ever thought. I can take care of myself, really. But you know, there's different levels to it, right? Like, you know, I had one of my old roommates, she moved to LA by herself, like with nobody else. I'm like, I fucking commend you for that shit, because it's so terrifying and hard, and it's just like, it's a lot. And like I said, I came here with like fucking like the tricycle wheels on the bike with, you know, my college roommate, my ex-boyfriend, and like one of his friends. So I came here with like 3 people. That's a pretty good padding. That's a good like buffer versus coming out alone. And so I think that's in the back of my mind, is like thinking about my goals in my career. I'm thinking about New York, and I'm like, I'm scared. And I'm allowed to be scared. I just have to do it scared. And I think that's kind of what I'm coming to, is like, I think this is something that I feel like him and I didn't always see eye to eye on either. There was like some things he needed to work on that he wasn't ready to work on or whatever. And I kind of got to the point where I was like, I think you're waiting for it to be easy. You're waiting to work on these things, to do these things, because you're waiting for it to be comfortable. It's never going to happen. This growth, this development, this self-work is going to be hard. It's going to be uncomfortable. It might feel like wrong while you're doing it, because it probably goes against everything you've ever been taught, which for me, it did, right? Moving to LA went against everything my parents have ever taught me. Play it safe. Take the safe route. Keep the job, you know? Invest in your 401k, even if you don't like it. Like, play it safe, right? And me moving to LA went against everything that I've ever been taught. It was uncomfortable. It was hard. It didn't feel good. I didn't have the support of my parents. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to come on here and romanticize it, right? Oh, moving to LA. It's perfect. It's great. It's wonderful. You're going to love it. You will. Those things are true. But in the actual act of moving out here, it's very hard emotionally. And I think any kind of self-help work it's all hard and uncomfortable. And then that's the thing, is you get to the other side, though. And when you get to the other side, you find happiness and freedom. And I think true happiness lies when you are in alignment with yourself. When I'm reading The Alchemist right now, I don't think it's the best book, to be honest with you. What's funny is so many men have been like, that book's so good. And it's like, of course. Like, now that I'm reading, I'm like, a fucking course. Men have been like, this is good. But I feel like it's about your personal legend and figuring out like where you're going with things. And I think like that's a nice message. And so I'm enjoying it. I'm going to keep reading it. It's a pretty easy read. And I like the idea of everyone has their purpose or their passion or whatever. And maybe your purpose is to just like fucking create art or like learn new things or like fucking, you know, like paint, like, you know what I mean? Like, your purpose could be anything, but I think that's happiness, is when you are in alignment with yourself. And I think for myself too, I've spent a lot of time being like, when this, then I'll be happy. When I do this, then I'll be happy. And I feel like, especially now that I've moved to LA, I find myself doing it. I'm like, when I move to New York, then I'll be happy. No. Happiness is, all we have is the present. All we have is right now. All, like, I'm either happy or I'm not, but all I have is this current moment where I can sit down, look around, and see the trees moving and the wind blowing and my dog breathing, and like that's like this current moment is all that I have. And I don't know, I had a walk with my boss one day at work, We just went around the building. I don't know why, or around the block. But as we were turning the corner, we couldn't, the gym was out of sight. And he was like, we really only have the current moment. He was like, the gym could be on fire right now. It could have burnt down by the time we get back. We don't know what happens next. Okay, fuck. Sorry. Had to move my car for my roommate. Anyways, I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. Fuck. Whatever. I think we were just talking about men trying to decenter things, being scared to do it alone. And I think, like, if I have any advice for you, like, do it scared, do it anxious, do it uncomfortable, but just, like, do it. That's the main focus point. Because I think a lot of people, like, think that these big changes are going to be like, okay, so somebody like me, right? Like, I moved across the country from Ohio, and I've, like, certainly made it seem like all that in a bag of chips. And it is, like, it was the best decision for me, but that's not to negate how difficult it was, just emotionally, or just believing in yourself that you could. And so, I think, sometimes it seems like these people who have done these amazing things, and we think like, oh, I'm nowhere near that. I wouldn't be able to do that. That's a lie that you're feeding yourself. And I would encourage you to flip the script in your head and just repeat to yourself, I could do that. I am capable of difficult things. I'm capable of things that are hard. And it might be hard. It might be really uncomfortable. You might make a lot of sacrifices for it, but it's like, what's really important to you? And I think, like, for me, accomplishing these things is really important. It's more important than staying comfortable. It's more important than stability. So the focus for this week for me, the shit I'm working on, is really just trying to lean into manifesting, journaling, yoga. I've been boxing a little bit, lifting, cooking, walking my dog, and doing these things that I know fill my cup, because I know that kind of thing, like, okay, so right now I'm feeling like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I think that those kind of activities are going to get me closer. They're going to get me to the goal, which the goal is, figuring out myself and what path I want to take. And that's, like, not an easy feat. But I think doing things that I know fill my cup, like spending, time with my high quality friends and chatting with them about their aspirations and goals, that gets me excited about what's next. Bouncing ideas off of them gets me excited about what's next. Taking a yoga class and really breathing into myself and my soul, and, like, having Shavasana at the end where I really meditate and spend time alone in here with myself, nobody else. That gets me closer to who I want to be. And so that's going to be my priority this week is I'm trying to fucking discover myself. And I think it's really in the simple things. So if you're trying to fucking discover yourself, I'm right there with you. It really does suck and it's hard, but it would be worth it. The payoff will be huge because you'll be living your life in the present, and you'll be living your life authentically for you and nobody else. And that's all I really want. And I don't care what the fuck that looks like, as long as I feel in alignment with myself and my soul. So yeah, that's your homework this week. Spend some time with you, comment below. Let me know, like, what are you working on? What are your things that give you life? If it's hiking or biking or cooking or spending time with somebody, let me know, because I think, like, that is the way that we're going to build a little community of, even checking in with me, even checking in on social media with me and being like, hey, this is what I'm working on. Like, that's really what I want out of this podcast, is to foster community. So tell me what you're working on. Tell me what fills your cup. And we're all going to get a little bit closer to who we are and be a little bit more selfish. Obviously, we're at the end of the video, but that was the main overarching theme, was be more selfish. Not like that, but just looking inward. Looking inward at you, and not in a critical way, but just in a way to say, what does she need? So that's what I've got for you this week. I will see you on the next one, because this shit is hard.